Hello, my loves. Welcome to the late winter March deck favorites list. I kind of set up the camera a little bit differently because I wanted to show you guys. I just got some new prints in. I've really been feeling, and there are two decks on this list that have really like reignited my passion for pre-Raphaelite artists. And I've really been drawn to Bouguereau, which you can see one of his Aphrodite images there in the middle, and to Louis Ricardo Falero, his artwork. There's Witch's Sabbath is a print that's at the top there. I can't remember which artist that is off the top of my head at the moment, but that bottom print of the witch with the flaming red hair, she has these big, beautiful wings. That is a Falero print as well. And back there where the reflection is of the ring light is a Waterhouse. I've just really been so reinvigorated in my love for these artists. And a lot of the artwork is mirrored in some of these decks and or the feel of some of these decks that made this list. And it's really, I think what I've really been feeling, guys, as I move into spring of 2023 is falling back in love with the sensuality of my practice and of the goddess and the feminine. I'm really been connecting and working a lot with Venus and just feeling so inspired and like very creatively pushed by Venus. It's interesting because when she first came back to me, which was a couple months ago, and I was meditating with my deity, and she just came smack dab into the middle of that meditation, and she was like, "No, we are talking now," and she hasn't left since. So I think, you know, over the years when I was younger, I really like to study and to you know, work hard and be devoted to my craft and that kind of thing. And so there's almost something about the pure intuitive sensuality of Venus that sometimes I think a little part of me feels like it's too easy. I should have to work harder, you know? So she's been pushing me in that way, and it feels really good. Just realized I forgot one of the decks on my list, real life, guys. So I had to go grab that. But the decks that I've been working with have really been about speaking to the embodiment of my practice, the embodiment of the sacred feminine, of the goddess, and just the beauty and fullness of the human experience. You know, for me, last year was really, was a big learning year for me, and it pushed me in a lot of ways. And in ways that I needed. As I've moved into this year, I've really had to focus on taking care of my body in a way I never have before. And I've also been single for over 6 months, which, guys, I have to say, if you find yourself in a position where you're single, I really recommend leaning into walking that solitary path for a time. I feel so strong in my sense of self, strong in my spiritual path, stronger than I've ever felt as a priestess, a witch, and a reader. I am just loving that part of my practice. And it's really helped me to be super present for things that my son needs as well. And it's just beautiful. I've had some really intense things happen recently, but it's balanced by this beautiful feeling of love and trust in my practice, my gods, the universe, in a way that I don't know, I've just really been able to lean into that. And so I'm really grateful for all of these experiences that have brought me to this really connected, beautiful space. And I'm so grateful for all of you, for those of you who view the channel, for people who purchase readings, for people who participate in workshops. Oh my God, this Tarot of Vampyres workshop, can I just say, like, I this workshop is super powerful and potent, like, wow. In fact, I'll just straight up say Tarot Vampyres is on this list because I've been working with it. Of course, I had to work with it before the workshop to prepare the space, but then I've been working with it in tandem with all the workshop participants, and wow, the experiences we are having, it's so exciting, it's so fulfilling and rewarding. So I feel really, really powerfully connected to my goddess, powerfully connected to my path. There's such a freedom that comes when you stop feeling like you have to fulfill some sort of societal whatever in order to be, you know, a functioning adult or whatever. I don't know. There's just been such a freedom in embracing the hermit and embracing the Hierophant in relation to walking a path of the goddess. That's just... I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All the lessons I've learned over my lifetime, and especially the last year, have just brought me to this moment that I'm profoundly grateful for. So, you know, I always share at the beginning of my favorites lists where I'm at so that you all, you know, I don't know, sometimes it mirrors what you all are going through, or it gives you some insight. And so I just want to offer to you that if you are experiencing a very dark or difficult or stuck time, that wheel is going to turn. So hang in there, come back to what supports and sustains you. I have to say this, cut out the people in your life that create more bullshit for you. Do it unapologetically. Let yourself go within, or reach out for support when and where you need it. That's going to help you. And just be present for yourself. Showing up for yourself makes a huge difference. So I just wanted to share those thoughts before we get started on this list. I love each and every deck on this list. I am obsessed. I am obsessed with these decks. I don't know where to start. Okay, so I mentioned the artists that I've really been just connecting in with their artwork. Like in my early to mid 20s, I had Bouguereau prints all over my house. I had Waterhouse prints all over my house. My ex-husband used to joke around because he was like, I love seeing all these naked women on my walls. But I really, really, really loved that artwork, those artists. And there's been something about like reconnecting with that just feels so, so, so yummy. And part of that's mirrored this Venusian, pre-Raphaelite, just gorgeous, delicious Bouguereau yumminess. Has been a deck that a viewer sent me as a thank you for the Kali Oracle. Now, I was on the fence about including this deck because it's not, the viewer created this deck herself. So this was a really, really special gift. And I do not know if this deck is available for purchase. I'm not sure that it is. But I also wanted to be really honest because I've been using this deck a lot. And I really freaking love it. There are many deck options out there though that are self-produced that can also be options for you. Before I post this video, I will reach out to the viewer and just ask her if it's appropriate if I post her Instagram account. She may not be on board for that, and I really believe in valuing my viewers' privacy because I want my privacy respected as well. So I will not post anything if she says, no, I'd rather keep it private. But I do want to show this deck because you can find decks similar to this that are really pre-Raphaelite in the artistic imagery and just enjoyable. In addition, the Ritual Tarot gives you some options on this type of artwork in collage format if you want to bring it into your practice, but you don't necessarily want to purchase a deck that someone created themselves, or I don't know, if you already have the Ritual Tarot in your collection, you don't need to purchase a deck to connect with pre-Raphaelite imagery. So she named this the Difficult Damsels Tarot, and I love this deck so much. Look at this. I mean, come on, does this say Venus? Like, hello, peonies are my favorite flower on earth. So I love this use of, here's a water house. Like, it's just stunning. This is the Hermit. And I have to say, I would gladly purchase this deck and pay about $100 for it without any thought, because I love this artwork so much, and it's beautiful to have it put together in a tarot structure. And I love the viewer's viewpoint on the ones she chose. Like, look at this for 5 of Wands. Hello. It's absolutely gorgeous. yeah, here we have the Hanged One, and it's kind of cool to see because like after looking at this, I've also been looking at some other decks that people have created themselves. You know, just like love decks for their own personal practice based on this type of artwork. And there are some, it's cool to see what artwork people choose for each card in the suit. Like here is 10 of Swords. Now I wouldn't necessarily have personally chosen this one myself. This is Ophelia, by the way. But I get it. Like when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, I get why she chose this one for 10 of Swords, even though Ophelia's in the water. Like I totally get it. So this has been, first of all, I want to say so much thank you to the viewer who gifted this to me. I've received just such loving messages and even some gifts from those of you who participated in the Kali Oracle workshop. And I just want to say thank you so much if you reached out and shared via message or comment on those videos. And if you were called to share anything with me, I just really want to say thank you. It really affirmed that workshop. And yes, there are more workshops coming, but they will happen in the right time, place, and season. I am someone who works with deity very seasonally and cyclically, and so it has to be the right time. I don't believe in forcing those things. So this is the Difficult Damsels Tarot. Yeah, to this viewer, you have no idea the beautiful gift you gave me. Thank you so very, very much. Okay. Now, of course, this list is really about my personal practice and what I've been using personally. Some of these kind of reverberate into client readings, but this is my main list. That was honorable mention because I don't really think anyone can purchase that. I'm not sure. I will find out. And if that one is not specifically available to purchase, there is another deck that I found through research that I will post a link to that's kind of close, but it's based on Greek mythology. So that is that. Okay, on to the main list. So when, you know, when you're moving through times that feel scary, you go back to the core, you go back to the bedrocks of your practice, right? And so I have been reconnecting to the Isis Oracle because I've really needed to feel a sense of love and support from the divine. And I don't, you know, I go to Isis for that when I need that sense of the ultimate cheerleader. Isis is the deity that walks with me through it all. And she does not abandon me. She's there. She reminds me of how to keep going, of how to take care of myself. She's, you know, she can be a lovingly harsh voice when I need her, but she's also my biggest cheerleader. And so I have been turning to the Isis Oracle for that sense of support, of love, you know, that I've got the goddess is by my side. Isis is with me. We're going to walk this. Whatever happens, I have her support and I'm not alone. And so I've been using this kind of like every couple days as a general message from Isis to carry me through the day. And I actually have a small altar just in her honor and just for this deck downstairs. And that has been such a balm to my soul for my spiritual practice. So the Isis Oracle is on my late winter, March 2023 favorites list. Okay. Memento Mori just keeps being my dark lover. I don't know what else to say. I shouldn't like this deck. I don't know why I love this deck so much, but I really do. It's so like sexy and sassy, and it actually has kind of a masculine feel to me. So it's kind of like in your face. You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. So this is the Memento Mori Lenormand and Oracle deck by Black and the Moon, right guys? I'm pretty sure, yeah. By Claire Goodchild. I really, if you're drawn to this artwork, I also want to be really honest with you guys. I've been reading with this totally intuitively. Like I gave the guidebook the once over. I always give a guidebook, but I have not been referencing the guidebook when I use this in readings or for myself. It's just been totally intuitive, and that's really freeing and enjoyable. So I work with this completely intuitively, and I love it. And I mean, come on, I'm an OG goth girl. Like, this deck just speaks to my heart in so many different levels. But I really, really, really love this deck, like seriously. So it's very mysterious, it's playful, it's sassy, it's tongue-in-cheek, and it's just like straight up to the point. It's like, oh, a really good shot of ghost tequila. I don't know if you've ever had ghost tequila. The words today, I'm in a really chatty mood. Side note, it is snowing like an MF outside. There's no school today, so you're probably hearing Vincent downstairs, and we're halfway through March. Why is it still snowing? Please stop, please. Like, I'm at the pleading with the universe point. So my videos are extra chatty today because I just want to feel warm and have a cup of tea and talk with my friends. But this deck is that feeling. This deck is like when you want to have a really good cup of tea with that friend that like you secretly think is too cool for you. Like, you're like, is this person really my friend? Like, they're so cool. That's black. That's this deck. That's the Memento Mori deck. That's exactly what this deck feels like, actually. He's just too cool for me, but he lets me hang out with him. And you know what tea we would drink, guys? So if Memento Mori was a drink, it would be a shot of ghost tequila, which is this very spicy tequila. Got a little heat to it. Like, you just need a shot. You don't drink it in a mixed cocktail. You just have a shot of it and you're good for the rest of the night. But if Memento Mori was a tea, it would be a Thai tea. Oh man, I love a good Thai tea. Yeah, that's what Black in the Moon would be. So Black in the Moon, not Black in the Moon. Oh my God, Memento Mori. Oh, I keep wanting to call it that. That's the artist, right, guys? Or wasn't she Black in the Moon at one point? I don't know. You guys take good care of me. You guys do all the research on this stuff, so I don't have to. And then you lovingly help me when I get lost. But anyhow, that is the Memento Mori Oracle in Lenormand. Okay, next is the Kali Pocket Edition. Very similar for the same reason as the Isis Oracle. I've been using this as just a daily blessing and message of love from Kali. She is another, believe it or not, nurturing goddess for me. We just did a wonderful workshop on the channel with this. If I remember, I'll put the link to that playlist below in case you're new to the channel and you see this deck and you're like, ooh, I would like to work with that in my own practice. I have a whole series there that you can walk through for a week to help you get to know the goddess better, the goddess Kali Ma, and work with the Kali Oracle at a deeper level for yourself. But this is the Pocket Edition Kali Oracle. And like I said, I've just been drawing a daily blessing for myself, just like a love message from Kali Ma for me. This deck is so spot on. It's freaky. Like, it's so... The blessing that she gives you will literally freak you. Like, some days I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that this deck could get that nuanced. It's just amazing. Okay. Part of me was like, should I put this deck on the list? Like, this deck's been on every list for the last year. I have to do an updated top 5 of all time. This will be on the top 5 Oracle decks of all time. It would also make the top 5 of all time. It's the Woodland Wardens deck, guys. Can't stop, won't stop with this deck. This deck loves to work with clients so much, and it's so loving. And it's got plant magic, and it has spirit animal magic. It's just... If you don't have this and you're on the fence, this is one of those decks that I would be like, take the plunge, babe. Take the plunge. It's 13, 14 bucks. You are not going to regret it. Like, you're just not going to regret it. It's just so... It clarifies tarot so well, but it's also such a great standalone deck. Like, if you're new to using Oracle as a clarifier, this one is very, very... easy to use. It's very user-friendly to clarify a tarot reading. I have many examples on the channel of that, and you can, look at past videos and find those example readings. I love this image. This one just makes my heart smile. And besides that, like I just said, like, this deck just makes my heart smile. Like, this is a ride or die deck for me. If there was an emergency and I could only pack 5 decks, this would be one of those decks. So yeah. Love, 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 love the Woodland Wardens. Like I said, it's very friendly. It's very chatty with clients. She loves to show up in that way. So the next deck on the list might surprise you a little bit, but maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what you guys think. And I always forget the name of it. Compendium of Witches Oracle. I have been using this in client readings, and wow, if you are anyone who's pagan or witchcraft focused in your practice, and you come to me for a reading and you have questions about your spiritual path, past lives, this Compendium of Witches Oracle is like, oh wow, I can't believe how accurate she is about your journey, your path, and how past lives correlate to where you are now and your particular blend of magic. This, I gotta say, this is another one where I'm like, if you're on the fence and you are someone who's pagan or witchcraft or left-hand path focused, you will love this deck. And you know what too? She's a straight talker. Like the other day, I was kind of moving through my day and I had a question about something. And when you work with cards all the time, you always have one on hand. This is on my altar up here right now. So I was like, you know, why am I running into this situation? And she gave me the shapeshifter and I was like, oh wow, is she ever straight up? No holds barred, no like, she just gave it to me straight. She's like, here you go. This is your magic. This is who you are. This is how you're experiencing this. And this is what you're bringing to the table here. So she's that type of deck. I will say, I think that she can definitely be a clarifier, but I actually like reading with her alone for spiritually focused, path focused, craft focused, and past life focused reads. I really prefer this deck for that. I think you can totally use it as a clarifier, and I have, but her sweet spot for me is standalone oracle deck in a reading. So that's the Compendium of Witches Oracle. Okay, sip of tea. I love all these decks so much. I'm just like, I'm so happy to be hanging out with you guys today. Okay, this is the Night Fairies Oracle by Paulo Barbieri. Oh God, do I love this deck, guys? I don't know. Like prior to this, Unicorns Oracle was my favorite Barbieri deck of my triptych. Night Fairies might be beating it out. This deck is so accurate in a reading, and it's such a good clarifier, and it goes shadow or light so easily. And it's just, like this image, like this is my life right now. I've been drawing this so much personally, and it's like, I feel like it's just, yeah, it's where it's at, guys. I love this deck. If you've been on the fence, this is another one I'm encouraging deck purchases today. I'm sorry, guys. But if you've been on the fence, I think you will find something special about this one. I do reference the guidebook, especially when I'm doing personal pulls for myself. Look at that one, the alpha. But I really read it with it very intuitively. This is another one where intuitively it's gorge. And this deck, it loves to clarify. So it will hold a shadow or a light space in a reading. It will also clarify the house for you in a reading. Like, especially, she especially loves, at least for me, Tarot of Vampyres, True Black Tarot, Ritual Tarot, the Witches Tarot by Burning Paper Hearts, she likes to clarify. She'll clarify Tarot of the Abyss. Sorry, guys, I'm really visual, so I have to look at my decks. What else did I use her with recently? Oh, Tarot de la Nuit. She clarified that one beautifully too. So she loves to clarify. She's super chatty, and she's really good at, like, you know that like thing in the corner that you're not looking at? Let's talk about it. Like, she's that kind of deck. Like, she wants to talk about that little piece that she didn't think was a big deal, but was actually the heart of the matter. This is that deck. So this is the Night Fairies Oracle by Paulo Barbieri. Look at that. She's a stunner. She's a looker. She's a stunner. She's another one that, like, oh my God, this might have to go in my top 5 oracle too. I have to completely redo that list. I don't know, guys. Okay, these are my top 3. And these decks I am in a polyamorous relationship with right now, and I don't have any shame about it. I love these 3 decks. I love these 3 decks together. I love these 3 decks. Okay. So this is the Magical Botanical Oracle. This was also sent to me as a thank you for the Kali workshop to the viewer who sent this to me. Girl, you know me well. Oh wow. And the great thing about this is I never would have purchased this deck on my own because I'm not a plant witch. I'm not a hedge witch. I'm not a green witch. I have to say, in my other video that I recorded today, I referenced a tincture that I've been taking. And I've been working with an herbalist, a hedge witch for that. And there is nothing like the wisdom of a green witch, a hedge witch, an herbalist. That magic is one of those things that like astounds me. It takes my breath away because it's not my home magic. I'm more of a glamour witch. I'm more of a manipulation of energy witch. And I work a lot with animal magic. And I already had the Woodland Wardens, which combines animal and plant, as we just talked about. So if I had been on my own, like just out there, seen this deck on Amazon or whatever, I would have been like, I don't really need it. I already have a plant magic oracle deck. But I love this deck so much. I am obsessed with this deck. I've been using it. Look at this, is one of my favorite cards, Belladonna. So when I did the unboxing, right? My 3 favorite cards were the 3 cards that showed up in my deck interview with the deck. After I did that unboxing video, I was like, no freaking way. And I'm just in lust with this deck. It's very lusty. It's very delicious. It's very combination of the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine, the sacred and profane, the mundane and the spiritual. Like, this is a really, really great deck. And I do think if you're a witch, or if you're following an alternative pagan path, this deck's very supportive of that type of spiritual path as well. Never mind the fact that it's very Art Nouveau, wood etching style. And so it's also just gorgeous on my altar. She's gorgeous. She's sassy. Look at this one. This is Love Lies Bleeding. Yeah. Thank you to the viewer who gifted this to me. This is the gift that keeps on giving. I love this deck. And I actually had been using it primarily just for myself, but she did come through in a reading the other day for a client, and I was like, oh, she's going to talk to other people too. Because, you know, some decks are like, we're monogamous. I don't share you well, but she wanted to be present for that. So let's see, I'm going to do it the other way. So number 2 is the Ritual Tarot. I'm sorry, guys. I know some of you are irritated with me. I freaking love this deck. This is my first edition that was gifted to me by a lovely viewer. This is not the 2nd edition because I'm still vamping her up. I recently edged the 2nd edition, and I now have to go through and put the titles in. But once that's done, she'll be a regular reading deck. But this is my current reading copy. And oh man, this deck just takes me places. Like, you know, way back in the day when I listened to Tori Amos all the time, there was a song that she entitled like You Show Me Things, or that was part of a riff that she did in a song live. And I feel like that's what this deck is. Like, this deck is the deck that shows me things. And it's very Kali, and it's very empowered, and it's also very magical. Like, I think it lends itself well to ritual and spell work, and to living in a how do I want to say that? It's a deck that prompts you to live in alignment with your beliefs, your ideals, and your ethics, and who you are as a person too. You know, this is a deck that's going to hold you accountable in a very lovey, gorgeous, sexy way, but it is going to hold you accountable, and it's going to tell you the truth. So it is an investment deck. It is self-published. All of those things do not, like, I would rather, again, I've said this many times, I would rather have one of this deck than 10 Hay House decks across the board. So for me, the Ritual Tarot is ride or die. It would be in my top 5 tarot. Again, I know I need to redo those videos. Maybe I have to do this once a year, huh? But this deck is really, really special to me, and it just keeps growing, growing, growing. Love, 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 love. My number 1 deck for my list, guys, I know, but it's Tarot of Vampires for real. Like, doing this workshop, which has just been, oh, there's the lovers, which has just been like so yummy, and so it's just cool, all the experiences everyone's been having, and the content creation for that workshop has really been able to go in a direction that I'm totally geeking out on as a creatrix, and loving. So I've been working with Tarot Vampires every day myself, in the workshop creation, answering client emails, and in readings. So I've really reignited my love with this deck, and this deck will always be home for me. And just, you know, that feeling like when you know someone like the back of your hand, and then maybe you didn't see them for a week or two, right? Like you're used to cohabitating with someone, and then, I don't know, someone has to travel or whatever. You don't see each other for a couple days or a week. And then like when you lie in bed with that person and like you smell the scent of their skin and you like wrap your arms around them, when you get reunited, like that first night of being reunited and how it feels like coming home. That's what working with Tarot Vampires for me feels like right now. Like coming home. And I always say Tarot Vampires is like this delicious glass of red wine that you've got to savor, and you want like some delicious cheese and fruit and like freshly made bread. And you have like a whole experience with this deck. This deck is not fast food. You know, it's not a fly by pull. You really spend your time, and it's decadent and it's delicious and it's very, very sensual. And that is the Tarot of Vampires. And reconnecting with this deck, which I've never not been, because I use this deck all the time, and I'm known, you know, here in the online community for this deck. But there's just something about this deck where it literally just keeps growing. It's never over. It's never over. There's no end to the way that this deck is simultaneously home and a brand new energy. There's just no end to the layers, and it's so fulfilling, invigorating, and exciting. So this has been my extremely wordy, extremely long-winded March 2023 deck favorites list, late winter 2023 deck favorites list. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for not minding hearing Vincent playing in the background. I hope you are doing well out there in the world. I hope you are not experiencing extreme weather like we are. I am sending you, as always, so much love and many blessings. I'll see you in the next video.